Hey there everybody, it's Brian Gormley again with another edition of Where in Greater DC. For those who don't know, we film all over the Greater Washington DC metro area, Baltimore to Virginia, and allow the folks who listen in to guess where we're filming each week, send their guests to support at cornerstonepropertiesHomeInfo.com, and the first person to get it right gets a prize. So hopefully you have some fun guessing our filming location. We'll do a 360 here in a second. Our site, in case you want to check it out, is capitalshortsale.com. Feel free to go there for a lot of free information and hopefully useful information about short sales. We are kind of in the hinterlands of the state this week, and it sort of feels like we need to be after this cease and desist order that's just been issued by the Commissioner of Financial Regulation against the ATC legal and financial folks. And so I wanted to talk to you for a second about our read of that cease and desist order and kind of the way it's going to play out here in the future. Certainly this is a very, very serious thing. The cease and desist order, it's about 17 pages long. The Commissioner of Financial Regulation is saying to ATC, we're closing down shop and imposing civil liability under two statutes in Maryland. One is the Maryland Credit Services Business Act, the MCSBA, and then there's a Mortgage Fraud Act that's a state law, a state statute as well. And then there's also potential liability under RESPA, and there's various federal statutes as well that the state probably couldn't sue under, but certainly could say, well, you violated these statutes, and as a result, you should be shut down. You're committing fraud, and that's really the essence of what they're saying. There's a variety of things that they highlight, practices that they allege ATC has engaged in doing, including charging, and this seems to be the biggest problem. Assessing all sorts of fees and charges on HUDs in short sales where there weren't appropriate services rendered or expenses incurred, things like wire fees and courier fees and kind of bogus charges like Credit Services Businesses Act fee or credit counseling fee or even settlement fees when they didn't conduct the settlement. And so basically the state of Maryland and the Commissioner of Financial Regulation specifically, as its arm, is saying to ATC, you're doing things that you shouldn't do, charging fees that you shouldn't charge, padding HUDs, and then switching it around and deceiving short sale lenders, and you shouldn't do that. And so you're committing fraud and lowering nets to banks, and therefore affecting Maryland homeowners. Okay, so that's the allegation. There are a couple of other things that are included, but that's certainly the thrust of it. Without condoning any activities of ATC or certainly any fraudulent activities, and certainly it does seem like, if the allegations are true, that ATC may have crossed the line in some of the practices that they've engaged in, and I understand that they're appealing this order, and so you never know how it's going to turn out. There may be a settlement, there may be a complete reversal in court. It does seem, so apart from all of that, it does seem like the Commissioner of Financial Regulation has taken a very aggressive stance in this case, and one that I would question, and again, sort of laying the fraudulent acts and practices aside, has necessarily the best interests of Maryland homeowners in mind. Certainly this is going to have a very chilling effect on the short sale industry. I mean, this is a landmark, seminal sort of case, a landscape-changing sort of case. And frankly, it seems like it was written by someone who really isn't very familiar with the day-to-day grind, the in-the-trenches practices of short sales. It's tough to be in the short sale industry when banks engage in outright fraud every single day. Servicing practices are notorious for engaging in outright deception, lying, foreclosures that are inappropriate and against the investor interests, and so on. And there's a regulator who is a monitor of these practices who is outright said, ever since the $25 billion settlement that banks are still not getting it right. There are watchdog groups that are, in theory objective, that are out there who are saying, yeah, servicing practices are not where they should be, they need to be. And banks are basically willfully ignoring these things and just getting away with it. And they've gotten away with it. And that's, of course, the $25 billion settlement that's out there now. And there's a Civil Relief Act as well, the Servicemen Civil Relief Act that is being violated, that banks are settling on. I think there's a $50 million settlement out there for that right now. So, and certainly short sales are ripe for abuse on the part of banks, and so it's difficult when you've got a state regulator basically clipping the legs out from folks who are homeowner advocates to combat these sort of admittedly fraudulent practices by the part of banks as well. So it is an industry that is very scary. The order is very scary. There's civil and even criminal liability that could attach here. Certainly you would think that even if there's a settlement, ATC is not going to escape unscathed. But that said, if you're in short sales, I would say that you need to run to your in-house attorney and really discuss your business model and your practices of how you're handling short sales, whether you have this credit services business license and whether you're in compliance with that law and with this order that we'll see if it stands or not. And if you're not in short sales, to seriously consider not entering into the short sale industry right now. It's an area, and the mortgage industry in general is ripe right now with lawsuits, as you can see. There are all sorts of settlements, all sorts of actions, legal actions that's being taken both ways, and this is so aggressive that you have to even wonder if if the agency isn't captured by the banks. And I'm not suggesting that it is, but it is a scary time out there for folks, and not a time to be afraid, but certainly a time to assess what you're doing if you're in the real estate industry, and how you're handling this very serious and very litigious area where a lot of money is involved, and as a result you've got a lot of interested actors and a lot of legal activity. So anyway, that's it for us. Don't forget to send your guesses to support at cornerstonepropertiesHomeInfo.com. A light a light respite to your day, I hope. Sorry for all the background noise. We're sort of standing here between, I guess it's East Patrick Street over there, and I think it's Market Street over there. So hopefully, to give you a hint, it's a little bit of a remote area in the state of Maryland. But send your guesses. Don't forget to check out CapitalShortSale.com. If you do have properties that need a rehab, short sale or otherwise, don't forget to get in touch with us, because we're very interested in talking to you. So I'm going to do a 360, and I hope to see you guys next week. Bye-bye.